What's up, guys? More Medic One here. Hey, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. If you are a subscribed member of my community, I welcome you as well. I'm just going to get down to the meat and potatoes and no BS. This engine has an air leak, and I'm going to show you real fast how to find an air leak without doing all of the pressure and vacuum tests. And granted that the pressure vacuum test would be the absolute best way to diagnose any 4-mix engine that's not running correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get it cranked up, and I want you to listen to how this thing is running. I'm going to rev it up, and I'm going to let it come to idle, and listen for how long it takes for it to come to idle. Do you hear the delay in the idle? Now, I'm going to adjust the low mixture needle and watch how wildly it responds. I'm going to lean it just a little bit. The engine is all over the place. I'm going to richen it just a little. So that is a telltale sign that if it won't adjust and it just goes to one extreme to the other, from almost stumbling and dying when you give it just a little bit more fuel, and whenever you lean it out, the engine just revs high as a kite. So what we're going to do, I'm going to crank this thing back up, and I'm going to remove the starter while the engine is running, and I'm going to spray a little bit of brake clean around this back plate and the rear main seal or the starter side seal. Check this out. Now I'm going to get just a little bit of brake clean, and I'm going to spray it right behind the starter cup, and just watch what happens. And it didn't take much to get that engine to die. We have a seal leak. The crankshaft seal is leaking, and possibly the cam cover is leaking. So let's take this off, and let's just see if we have a seal that's, took a crap on us. Alrighty, so it's a 13 mil to take the starter cup off. And if we take a look, we can see all of that built up dirt and oil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the seal, and I'm going to reseal this backing plate. This backing plate is just held on with 4 T27 screws. And it looks like this one's been into before because it's got a whole bunch of silicone squeezed out of everywhere. And then we'll just take our backing plate, give it a tap, tappy tap. I need to get a flat screwdriver and just catch it on the prying tabs. Got them all out. There we go. And what we can do, we can verify that this was actually leaking or not. After close inspection of this cam plate, we'll normally can see around where the sealant goes. If it's wet around the perimeter sealing surface of this cam plate, then you can know without a shadow of a doubt that you had a leak. But this was dry all the way around, so I feel confident that the cam plate was not the culprit, but it is the rear seal. As you can tell where that seal rides, or it doesn't really ride, it's just got a cutout for the crankshaft, and all of this dirt and debris was being thrown by the seal being, compromised. Now, to get this seal out, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can use the factory seal removal tool. You can just dig it out carefully with a screwdriver, or you can do like I've done. I've got one of the factory steel screwdrivers that I've kind of put a bend in here, and at the very tip I have put a hook per se, and this thing absolutely works like it works wonders. So what you do, you put that little crook right in the lip of that seal, and you cam this screwdriver down just a little bit, and we can pull that seal right out of there if I can find the right pair of pliers. Now, this is going to be kind of shaky. I bet the camera is going to shake just a little bit, but we're going to take the pliers. Let me show you my setup here. Yeah, that's a good shot. So basically, now I'm going to cam these pliers like this on the gas tank right here, and it should pull that seal right out. Just like that. Man, that thing works better than the factory tool. I love making tools that just absolutely work. Now, when I go to install this seal, I'm just going to use a flat washer. As you can tell, that's going to mount flat against the engine block, and it clears the crankshaft here. So what we need to do is we need to take our new seal, and we're going to lube it up with a little bit of gear case grease, or just any kind of lube. You just don't want anything to tear the lip when you install it. So just put you a little bit of grease on here on the lip. Don't put any on the outside, but that should be plenty right there. You want to try to install this seal dry. So we're going to just get it started, kind of rock it on to get that crankshaft. The end of the crankshaft is going to start trying to push that seal lip out of the way, so just kind of cam it in there at a slight angle, and there we go. Perfect. Now, to be able to press this seal on, straight, we are going to start the nut that holds the starter cup on. And that will start our seal, start making it go straight. Make sure your washer is centered. Alright, once you do that, everything looks pretty good. Go ahead and remove the nut. Remove the washer. Inspect that you didn't do anything to the sealing lip. We're going to reinstall that. And we're going to put a little spacer, and then we're going to finish sending the seal home. Okay, we're stopped. Remove your homemade puller, and that seal is 100% installed flat and correct. Now this procedure holds true for the flywheel side. It's the exact same procedure. If that seal was leaking, then you would do this procedure right here, would work the exact same way. Now I want to show you this old seal. I found it when it flew across the room, but I just want to show you. Here's the sealing lip right here. Look how crusty, look how that just breaks apart. If this seal is like this, then I would, without any doubt, just replace the magneto side seal. Look at that. That is just crispy, crispy. That seal was leaking like a faucet, buddy. Alright, just clean up your mating surfaces real good. Put just a super thin layer of Durco on your cam cover. We're going to slide that in place. Carefully start these screws. These are notorious for wanting to cross thread. I want you to start these by hand. And I'll show you here in just a second if I can get one to act up on me. Well, they're going in good. See there? Yep. Yeah. Just get them snug, because we are going to snug them. And we're going to let this dry for about 10-15 minutes. And then we'll tighten the screws. Just get them finger tight. Alright, we got a good uniform squish on our RTV, and while I'm doing this, I might as well pull the clutch off, or the flywheel off, and I'm going to check that other seal. Alright, let's go ahead and remove that flywheel nut. just going to thread the nut just to where it's flush with the threads. And we're going to use our little handy dandy flywheel puller. Find the ones that will line up, which will be those right there, and then reinstall your clutch screws. Just start tightening down your center forcing screw there. I think it's the same size as the scrunch. Just keep on tightening until she pops off. You might want to get you just a little bit of something to hold that flywheel with. There she goes. She was on there good. Remove your clutch bolts. Remove the flywheel, and as you can tell, this seal is also leaking like a faucet. Look at all that wetness. While you're there, go ahead and check that flywheel key and make sure it's not sheared. And we're going to pull this seal out exactly the same way we did on the other side with my specialty screwdriver that I made. Only this time I'm going to use a block of wood underneath this pair of pliers here just to have something to pry against. And we'll... Boom! Works every time, but it's violent. Got that seal right out of there. Just get everything cleaned up real good. Good practice would have been just to blow this out real good before you started removing the seal, but I hate to do things in the wrong order for you guys, but it's okay. Just make sure you just clean everything up, and then we will install the new seal here in just a second. Just remember to lube up your seal lip. We'll slide the seal onto the crank and using the same washer. Only this time we're going to use a little collar that we have found, and we'll install the nut that holds the flywheel on. Okay, we've got our collar on, and we're just going to install one flat washer just to take up the space and have something for this nut to press against. And find my 13mm wrench, and we're just going to tighten that down. See if I can get a better shot for you guys. And that'll send that seal home nice and straight. That looks pretty good. I can live with that. Now it's had time to cure for a little while now, so let's go ahead and just torque down our cam plate bolts. Don't have to kill it, just get them snug. Do this by hand. Alrighty guys, I got her button back together and man does she run sweet. Alrighty, guys, we got that little Mohican going one more time, and she runs good. And hey, if this content helped you out, and I know it did on this video, please give me a thumbs up and smash that subscribe button. And while you're there doing that, as always, click that bell and so that you get all my new videos. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and guys, I appreciate and thank you for watching. Have a good day.